The Trump administration moving to end DACA and calling on Congress to do something about it quickly, at least in the next 6 months.
But instead, many are calling out Congress over the push for legislation to aid those shielded by the program. Here's Laura Ingram's take.
We're not talking about mass deportation of people. It's about giving work permits and federal benefits to people who are as advanced in their age as the age of 36. If Congress wants to push basically a de facto amnesty of 1 million people and think that somehow middle America is going to stand up and cheer, good luck.
So will these new bills just become veiled amnesty for those previously under DACA protection?
That's the wonder. Meanwhile, the sponsor of one of those proposed bills, the Recognizing America's Children Act, Representative Carlos Curbelo, joins us right now from our nation's capital. Congressman, good morning to you.
Good morning. It's good to be with you.
Okay, so the president essentially made it very clear through his attorney general yesterday that the former president didn't have the authority to do what he did, and now it's up to you guys in Congress to fix it. What are you going to do? What's your plan?
Well, the president has been very explicit. He expects Congress to do our work, as he said yesterday morning on this DACA issue. And I have legislation that will recognize these young people, some of who arrived in the United States as little children, as Americans. That's why it's called Recognizing America's Children Act. Now, they would have to earn it. There are 3 paths to earn legal status in the United States. You either have to serve in the military, you have to work, so you have to be a productive member of society, or you can earn a degree in higher education, whether it be a college degree or a vocational degree. And we're going to, for 5 years, make sure that you meet those requirements. After those 5 years, then you can get legal permanent resident status in the United States.
Are you talking about citizenship?
Well, eventually these people on their own could apply for citizenship, but the bill in no way guarantees citizenship to any of these individuals.
Critics will say that could be de facto amnesty. Is your bill include border enforcement, a wall? Do you support the reality that if you don't address that, then any immigration reform just becomes a revolving door?
I think certainly this kind of legislation could be paired with border security. It could be paired with other reforms to our immigration system.
Wouldn't you say it needs to be? Because otherwise we're focusing on folks that are here illegally and not on law-abiding, tax-paying citizens who feel like a lot of the policies pursued so far haven't served their interests.
Well, I certainly support stronger border security. I support reforming our visa system, because a lot of people talk about the border and the wall, but they don't talk about the fact that about half of the people who are here illegally overstayed their visas, so the border really has nothing to do with it, and I support all of that. But here's what the president called for yesterday. He called for action on this issue, and here is the solution. A conservative version of legislation that recognizes these young people. And people talk about de facto amnesty, but let's talk about the fact that these young people are de facto Americans. They grew up in this country. They went to our schools. They are working here. They are paying taxes. Some of them are willing to lose their lives for this country, to risk their lives for this country. So these kids are de facto Americans, and it's about time that the law recognizes them as such, and the president realizes that. That's why he's calling for action. The alternative to action is that these young people are subject to deportation in a matter of months, and obviously in calling for action, the president doesn't support that position. So I urge all of my colleagues, Republicans and Democrats, sure, let's work together on a broader immigration package. Let's secure the border. Let's enforce the rule of law in this country. But let's also address these young people who are contributing to this great country, who love this country just as much as we do. And by the way, how amazing could it be if Donald Trump could sign legislation that George W. Bush wanted to sign and couldn't, Barack Obama wanted to sign and couldn't. They failed. He can succeed. That would truly be something historic.
That would be something. Congressman, thank you very much for making that point. Before you go, though, you actually represent the southernmost district of Florida, the congressional district. Tell us about where your family is right now and what are your plans regarding Hurricane Irma?
Well, my wife and 2 daughters are back home. Obviously, they're very concerned, as every South Floridian is, and increasingly every Floridian, because it looks like this storm could impact the entire state. I'm heading home tonight. There's important work to be done here in Washington, D.C., but I just can't be here while my family is preparing for this massive storm. I actually have even considered asking my wife and daughters to leave town, even though I'm going back, but I think we're just going to stay at home. And what I ask every Floridian is to listen to state authorities. Governor Scott is doing a wonderful job. Listen to your local authorities in Miami-Dade County, Monroe County, the Florida Keys. Everyone must evacuate the Florida Keys. This storm could have a devastating impact on the Florida Keys. I hate to even imagine what could happen in the Florida Keys, so it's very important for everyone to take this very seriously.
Thank you, Congressman. We're thinking about you and everyone in your district as well.